Hi, this is Rob from Rob's Traditional Creations. Today I'm going to start a little series that I've been wanting to do for a while, and it is called Wild Edibles in Your Own Backyard. And today you can see I am in my backyard. The lawn is a little long. I asked the boys not to cut it today. We're going to go over some different wild edibles that are found in the backyard, surprisingly. And as long as you don't spray your lawn with chemicals, they're all edible. So I want to continue that series into In Your Own Backyard series. And that would be just different things you can do in your backyard to do some bushcrafting. Before we start, I want to go over the resources that I use for this video and finding wild edibles. We have the Peterson Field Guides for medicinal plants and herbs, and also wild edible plants, and that's those two books. I also have this older book, which is Free for the Eating, and then I have this one I got off eBay for about $5, Field Guide to North American Edible Wild Plants. I also have a really great book. This was the very first one I got. It's called Botany in a Day, and it's written by Thomas J. Elpels, and you can get it on his website, which is the same as his name. But you use plant patterns to recognize and learn different species of plants. And you can see here the pine family. He's got almost everything in here. He goes through rose, through everything, mulberry family. But he teaches you in the very beginning 5 basic patterns. And with those 5 basic patterns, you can learn thousands and thousands of plants. And they're similar all over in the world. The plants that you learn are the sunflower family, the mallow family, the pea family, the lily family, the mint family, parsley family, and the mustard family. And by just learning those, you can learn thousands of plants just by recognition. It helps if the plant is flowering. So today we're going to use mostly the Peterson Field Guide for Edible Wild Plants of Eastern and Central North America. We are going to go over in this series wood sorrel, mint, wild garlic, dandelions, which we've already touched on, creeping Charlie, which is also known as gill of the ground, plantain, daylily, raspberries, horseradish, and clover. And there's probably more in the lawn that I do not know about. I do know that we have a small little curly dock plant growing over here, and that is edible when it is young. We can take a look at that right now. I'm not going to go into this one at depth. This is more for out in the fields that plant would be. And you can tell it by the green flowers on the top of the stalk and then the leaf, and it has a wavy edge to it. Curly dock, as it gets bigger, it gets very bitter. Today though, we're going to explore a plant that you see around all over the place, and I picked one without the flower because with the flower you would recognize it immediately. But this is part of the rootstock that I dug up, and you can see these small tubers here, which are all edible, and I'll break one off. For you to see, and I'll try that. It's supposed to taste like water chestnut, and you can eat the young stalk there. Is also edible. Tastes a little bit like celery. But let's go see what we're looking at. and we'll go over it in the Peterson Field Guide, so it'll give us every example of what we can do with this plant. So we're going to go to the back far corner of the backyard and we're going to take a look. So we come around the corner, and what do we have there but the daylily? So we're going to go over a couple of the edible parts that are on this. They call this a daylily because they only bloom for one day. So this flower that bloomed this morning, tonight it will start to wither and dry up and become this dead looking flower. These are the very young pods. These are a little older, getting ready to bloom, but they go through the early to late summer. Another way to tell these plants, and this is going to be hard to tell, but they all come out of a central stalk side by side. I don't know how good you can see that, but that's another thing you can tell early in the year before the flowers come out. So the flowers are edible. These are edible, cooked like green beans when they're young, just like that. These are edible right now, prepared like corn, or fried up as a fritter. The flowers can be frittered, or they can be eaten raw, just as is. I've eaten them before. I'll taste one here. And it's actually got a nice sweet. It's sweet. It's not overly sweet, but it's, I'm trying to figure out what I can, I can say it's sweet, but it's not sweet like a sugar. It's a very mild sweet flavor. Maybe like a mild berry almost. So let's go take a look at the Peterson Guide, and you can take the dried out flowers and use them for seasonings in soups and stews. So I'm just going to get back over into the shade here, and in the Peterson Guide, sorry for that close-up, you see the daylily, and you can match this to what you find in the field. And what it says is, while daylily is often planted around houses for its large showy flowers which bloom and wither in a day, most people are surprised to discover that it also furnishes a year-round supply of food. The shoots, flower buds, flowers, and tubers are all edible and delicious. Tubers all year, in the early spring shoots, in the summer buds and flowers. So it tells us page 92. And we go to page 92 and we have the daylily, which gives some more description. Note the unspotted tawny blossoms open one day only, facing upward from the top of a leafless flower stalk. Basal leaves light green, long, sword-like. Root a tangle of small, elongated tubers 3 to 6 feet. Where found, waste ground escaped from gardens, Ontario to New Brunswick, south to Missouri, Tennessee, and North Carolina. Flowers June through August. The use: salad, asparagus, cooked vegetable, fritters, and a seasoning. Little known but excellent food source. Add the early shoots to salads or prepare like asparagus. Prepare the young flower buds like green beans, or when older like fritters. Use the fresh flowers to make fritters, or the fresh, withered, or dried flowers to season stews. Add crisp snow white tubers, that's what we just did over underneath the awning there. Snow white crisp tubers found early in the year to salads, or prepare like corn. Older but still firm tubers can also be prepared like corn. Again, all year the tubers, early spring the shoots, summer buds and flowers. So once again, this series is going to be called Wild Edibles in Your Own Backyard, and we will see you on the next one. Remember, get out there and just do something, even if it is in your own backyard.